आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force become efficient, powerful. All is verily the one without second. Existence, consciousness, bliss, the Brahman. May I never deny the Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues necessary to experience this truth in life be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the oneness of the blissful existence by just removing our body consciousness. Just unbutton or unzip your whole body. You are not the body. It is just another covering that you have put on. And we got into the habit of identifying ourselves with this covering. Feel that you are removing this body cover, like you take off a shirt or a coat, or in winter a heavy jacket. When you get into the warmth inside the house, you take off that heavy jacket, put it on the hanger. So let us take this body off and put it away. And what a great difference it makes. Now I see, I was never born, never had a growth, and am not going to die. It was all related to body. Just as blue or black or green or red are colors of the coat, long or short, striped or plain, they are all qualities of the coat. I am not restricted by that. So also, tall or short, heavy or light, young or old, male or female, all these distinctions do not relate to me at all. They are of the body. And as I take the body off, disidentifying with it, I see I am infinite, never born, never had any parents, never had any children, no siblings, no friends or foes. All that was related to body. I am the all-pervading Brahman, the Satchidananda. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So we shall begin this 149th class on Srimad Bhagavatam by chanting the opening verse. This is actually the first verse of this book and kind of encapsulates the whole purpose of its study. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. This truth supreme, which is described or deliberated upon in all scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and that very truth, the supreme truth, is presented here through wonderful illustrative stories that convey the message in an interesting way. Interesting means we feel interested in listening to the story, and in a subtle way, through that story, the same great truth described in Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita in somewhat philosophical way is inserted into us. There is tremendous philosophy in Bhagavatam, but given as a narration within a story, so one feels more inclined to accept it, to read, study, think about it. So we are coming to this, the last part of Chitraketu's story, where Chitraketu, as we saw, the question was asked that how that Vritra, although born in a demon clan, how the Vritra became so devoted. And then the discussion ensued with the story of Chitraketu, that what Vritra was before becoming this Vritra, there was previous. There is a past to all of us which influences our present and future. So there is past, and that past builds up. And what we are now is a sum total of what has been done by us in past. And past does not refer only to what is called this particular birth, but all the millions of births that we have gone through, all they accumulate and bring this present birth to us. And thus sometimes we wonder what happened, how this person is like this. It is because there is a past that is submerged under the conscious level, and so we don't see it. But it is whether we see it or not, the facts are facts. You cannot shut your eyes to facts. So, although you do not see it, it is there. So, there is that story of Sherlock Holmes that he wanted to this catch somebody red-handed while trying to murder him. So he got his likeness made exactly and then kept it there in the window. He knew that murderer will be sitting in that window. But to deceive the murderer, he first stood there himself. And then to convince that he is sitting there, talking, getting up and all that, so that it is not a statue, it is not an image. And then slowly put his image there instead of himself. And now sitting there and doing some work as it were, and then the murderer thought, oh, that's a good chance, now he is not moving, so I can shoot him, and then and goes and hits the statue. And thus, then the police was already kept aware of this. They came and red-handed the fellow culprit was caught. So it is now that the culprit could not see that it is not Sherlock Holmes, but just an image. There is a deception that happened there. So, but there was some work that went on before this happened. So, similarly, what we appear now, and we are not really that only. There is a lot before that has gone into it. Just as we are not exactly shaped by what did today. What we did today might have played a little role, but then what we did over the past many decades, each of that has played some role. And so also now go back, go to the logical conclusion that you were not really born, the body was born. You were there even before that, and you had been doing many things that got accumulated, and that has become now what appears on the surface as you, that has contributed to that. Like a person, somebody was telling, oh, he doesn't seem to do anything much. I mean, how he is such a rich person? What does he do to earn money? No, he doesn't do anything is right. But his forefathers had done a lot, and that you don't know. And then they have left the inheritance for this person. So therefore, even though you don't see that person earning a lot of money, that inheritance is there too. So we have inheritance from past many births, and that is the effect that is apparently seen here. So this story is to tell that how a devotional transformation went in the life of Chitraketu. a very illuminating story that how he became a devotee. He was initiated into this devotion by Narada, and then he had the vision of the Lord, and then he was granted that yes, you continue with this sadhana, be here, as he was having this celestial position like we called Vidyadhara. So could move anywhere and had all the celestial companions, and with all those women they would sing, and so, but being a devotee, he only performed the devotional mantras, songs with those, and had not gotten attached to anything. In fact, used to abhor the behavior that would be seen as a sensual behavior, promiscuous behavior. So he saw one day that Shiva and Parvati were sitting in close embrace, and he thought, what is this? This Shiva shows himself to be a great ideal. People take him as the epitome of great virtue and renunciation, and he is sitting in the company of so many saintly people. And is he not ashamed of having his divine consort Parvati, a woman, sitting on his lap in his close embrace? What is this behavior? And he vehemently criticized it. And Shiva was listening. Parvati got very much incensed because this man didn't understand. He could not understand the total transcendence of body consciousness of Shiva and Parvati. They are one like fire and its burning power. This is the image. What is it called? Iconology. That icons, it is that it is this. They have some meaning. All of these, like you have, for example, that we discussed some time back, that Vishnu lying on the snake, relaxed, reclining on the bed of a snake. What does it indicate? What the four hands of Vishnu indicate? What is the meaning of 5 faces of Shiva? And all these things have deep meaning. So this is Shiva and Parvati sitting together in embrace. Actually, not even the two. In many places they are shown as Ardha Nari Nateshwara, means it is the half woman, half man. There are beautiful these images, temples, where there are these temples have this image. Half is woman, Parvati, half is man, Shiva. So, to show that they are two expressions of the same reality, it is far from a promiscuous behavior. But there was the plan, God's plan. So, Parvati therefore could not tolerate this. The one appearing as two impure minds cannot grasp this, and so there is a criticism like in Bhagavad Gita of this Sankhya philosophy. In Bhagavad Gita you find at so many places this Sankhya idea of the two, principles called Purusha, the conscious principle, and the material principle, Prakriti. The consciousness never changes, that principle never changes. The Prakriti, that keeps on changing. The nature changes. The material aspect keeps on changing. It is subject to laws. It is consciousness is not subject to laws. And let us remember this, that all the laws in physical science, what do they pertain to? They pertain only to that which is physical, matter. Matter changes, and the changes, how it changes is described through these laws. Like the laws of mechanics are there, and the laws in like chemistry, you have transformation from one kind of compound to another kind of compound. All these are the matter, related to matter. The consciousness does not change at all. So, they are thought to be two different principles, but not in Vedanta, in Sankhya. So, Sankhya considers this to be two. Vedanta says, no, they are not two, they are inseparable, like the fire and its burning power. Shiva and Shakti, they are identical, they are always together. You can never separate them. So therefore, this is, so she cursed him that you will be born as an Asura. This is the mystery of one and many. Always very difficult to say if something is one or many. It is always, we feel that one cannot be many, many cannot be one. But that is not factually true at all. For example, Tilak is one, many, what it is? If you look at the whole body as such, you say one. But if you are viewing the limbs, that is many. If you are looking at the number of cells, that will be trillions. So it is the same one appears as many. So it is in a way neither one nor many. It is beyond enumeration. So this is how you see the very mysterious thing, because our idea, the whole of our knowledge is actually a measurement and numbers. So that which is basically beyond numbers cannot be grasped by our minds unless we transcend that level. And that transcendence does not happen in physical science. That is why physical science never reaches to the truth. It gropes in dark, and therefore the research keeps on going, What is the meaning of otherwise research? If you know the truth, then why further do the research? There are doubts, there are the scopes of improvement, there are problems, and so we have to see that although it was thought to be true, it doesn't end there. So, this truth that is one finds through transcendence of numbering, transcendence of enumeration, which is all physical science, then you get to this truth that it is neither one nor many. It is, or you can say, one and many, inexplicable. That is why this very important word used in Vedanta is that it is one without a second. There is no two there, Advaita, non-dual. So, when this was seen, Chitraketu, when he heard this curse, he just came down from his this aerial vehicle, and he prostrated before Parvati, and with all humility he started saying, so it is very beautiful. Sanskrit verses are there. It is that Pratigrihnamite Shapam Atmano Anjalinambike Devair Martyaya Yat Proktam Purvadishtam Hitasya Tat. That it is whatever it is, I accept your curse in my palms. Whatever in the divine bestows on a mortal, whether favorable or not, is the result of one's own karma. It is, we do accordingly, the result comes. And it all is ordained by divine wish. It is who decides what result, what karma would bring. A key question, that the law of karma cannot be an independent law, because somebody has to decide that this action will have this result. It is, and who is the decider of that? So God decides everything. That one principle that pervades everything is the Lord of all. So that one principle or Brahman is also called Karmadhyakshaha, the Lord of deciding the karma and its result. What action leads to what result? It is all, otherwise it is inexplicable that why a particular karma would give such a result. We don't know how it happens. It is all therefore called God's wish. That is how it has been ordained. So, it is a jiva overpowered by ignorance. He is moving in transmigratory circles and gets pains and pleasures. In our Jnana Yoga readings in the morning, we were having Swami Vivekananda explaining that pleasure and pain, and they are together always. When you say, in a way, evolve your intelligence, you become, you have more avenues of pleasure. He gave the example of a savage caveman whose only joy was, to get enough food for survival. So when the fellow has enough to eat, the fellow was happy. If doesn't get enough food, the fellow was sad. Now as the person improves, what happens? The avenues of pleasure do increase, like intellectual pleasure, the pleasure of reading a wonderful poem, or having seeing a piece of art or music, hearing nice music. All those things become, for a person who has evolved from a caveman to that level, and now there are so many avenues of getting pleasure. but also have increased the avenues of pain. That caveman didn't understand these pains that one may get because somebody spoke a bad word to him. No, but this highly elite person becomes upset, becomes very sad if he is not given the honor that he or she has been expecting. That person then becomes very sad. As I told that incident, that one that she was doing some research or postdoc work at Brown University, and then she said one of my papers now is going to be published. I got the letter. She was very happy that my paper has been accepted. And then after some days she came so upset and angry. What happened? No, you know they have put my name there on the paper as third. That was the reason for getting upset, it is, I didn't know, I never published those papers and stuff like that. So I didn't have that joy nor have that suffering of not having put my name first or second. She said, I accepted that my name won't be first, the professor will have the first name. But I did all the work, that other fellow didn't do anything, but got the names as second. That person's name became second and my name was put third. So now the whole joy of that paper getting accepted, published, is ruined. So all misery. Can you imagine a caveman can suffer for such a thing? Forget caveman, even I could not understand what is the suffering about it. But she was so upset, cursing everybody. This is the universities are like that, and so yeah, I said, no, that will spoil your teeth, grinding all the time. So it is the pleasures and pains we get together. Increase in pleasure automatically means increase in pain as well, because when you see more pleasures means you have now got finer nerves, and the same nerves will carry the sensation of pain as well. So it is automatic. In Bhagavatam we saw earlier, much before the story of Prahlada, a great story where Prahlada tells, it is useless to try to get pleasures because of having the body. All that pleasures and pains that are associated with body, we are anyway going to get that. Why put in effort to get pleasures? Wow, that was such an important message, that that which is already going to come, why put efforts in that? Pleasures and pain, just because we have body, all that comes automatically. There will be pleasures, there will be pains. Nothing will be just exclusive. So Chitraketu says that whether a man of tremendous devotion and knowledge, you can see here in his message, in the perpetual movement of Prakriti, that is what we see, all the movements. What difference is a curse or a blessing, heaven or hell, going to make? The common people, ignorant people, they feel, oh, that's a curse, that's a blessing. the going to hell, oh my God, burning alive, and heaven, all the pleasures. But it is all transmigratory existence, ephemeral, comes and goes, so what does it matter? It is like the dentist tells when the dentist is giving that Novocaine. It will just give a slight pain. It will prick a little bit like an ant biting. That's it. So you take it because that is a necessary thing. So similarly, because it is just for a fraction of second. So in a fraction of second, this life comes, life goes. And the pains go, the pleasures go. All are transitory. Can we fathom this great truth? Very important. That tells us that the pleasures, we don't encounter or get any pleasures that do not go away. In fact, if they don't go away, they themselves become pain. So they go away, they come, they go away. Like imagine, that say somebody is eating these laddus. Now, okay, one laddu enough, some pleasure. But then second laddu will not give that pleasure. In fact, no, enough, no, I cannot take any more. If you are forced to eat, then that will be a big pain actually. There was a story that it is actually a real life incident. A man was, he put a bet, there was a lot of the butter there. And he said, I can eat all this butter. Just a bowl full of butter. And then, as it happens with butter, I don't know if anybody had tried. I have tried, First you eat something, then afterwards that butter fills your whole, whole system, gets so much with it. Before he could finish even half, he was about to give up, but the others were encouraging. Hey, no, half you have already done, try. Said, as such it is very difficult. Can I add some sugar to it? Yes, go on, no problem. So some sugar was added to it, and he ate a little more, but now it has become much more difficult. And he still was forced to eat. Hey, no, you were saying, otherwise you will become a laughing stock. You said you will eat whole this thing. Come on. So, again the fellow ate some, and then just collapsed right there. And those village doctors were called. Hey, what to do? And that doctor examined the pulse and the heart and all that and said, nothing much, will be all right. I am giving this particular Ayurvedic medication, but it is very bitter. So give it, mix it with some butter and sugar and give. As soon as the fellow heard butter and sugar, he immediately got up and started running away. So, see how much that pleasure became such a big pain. So it happens like that what was giving pleasure, that thing in different situation brings pain also. So this is our physical existence. You can look around and see. Do you find anybody? You may feel that you may have got some painful incidents in your life. Ask anybody anywhere. There is nobody who never had any painful incident, and nobody who didn't have any pleasure in life. Everybody has those pleasant incidents. I many times show those nice photographs, live photographs taken, and they are on our dining table, put there by that Dorothy. So, those photographs are from the mostly low income people, and you may think that they may be sad people. Look at the happy faces that they have. The little child, that child has the very ordinary shirt, and then is so happily playing flute. So, many such things. So, everybody has pleasure and pain. Just having this human body, what is associated with the human body, you automatically are assured of getting. So, therefore, I do not care for those things. It is what difference is hell or heaven going to make? What is the difference? I may be born as a demon, an asura, or I will be born as what I am now, like a Vidyadhara. What difference does it make? One manifests as all the variety and bestows joys and sorrows, liberation and bondage. Therefore, O angry one, he addresses the Parvati, I am pacifying you not for the release from the curse, but it is for asking forgiveness if what I said was improper. So, just for asking for forgiveness, the curse, it is not a curse as such. What does it matter? It is, I will be born as a demon, an asura, I am okay with it. So look at that tremendous conviction that it is all unreal anyway, like in a drama. Whether you play the role of an angel or a god, demigod, or you play the role of an asura, a demon, what does it matter? It is just temporary stage show. It neither makes you demon or angel. So there is a story associated with it, that there are those in the movies and theater world, there are those suppliers of the artist, contractors. So they supply the actors. Now, there was this show that where there will be the heavenly angels and the big-bodied these demons. So the supplier said that for these demons, you will have to pay $500 per character, per demon. For the gods, only $100 will be okay. For gods, only $100. For demons, $500. Are demons so pricey? So, of course, to act as a demon, you should have that kind of a big body, a strong. For acting as that god, any fellow will do. Doesn't matter. So, therefore, their rates are higher, you see. So, becoming an asura can fetch better rates actually. So, this Chitraketu was not at all bothered, and so, but I am begging forgiveness because what I said, it was improper. So, and then with that, Chitraketu departs, and then he got the birth as Vritra. So, it is Shiva then said to Parvati, this is the concluding part of this, that look, see the effect of devotion of Hari's servants. Hari's servants and servants of them, see how much devotion they have, how absolutely desireless they are. So this is an underlying principle of becoming a devotee. If one is a devotee, to the extent one imbibes devotion, to that extent one becomes desireless. You cannot have both these things together, that I will be a devotee, I will have devotion, and also I will have worldly desires. No. With the increase of devotion, the worldly desires of all types, they just start saying goodbye. I don't care for anything, I don't want anything, that's it. So, they care not for heavenly enjoyments or sufferings in the hell. What does it matter? Nothing is needed. Like that story, again it comes in the Markandeya Purana, that the sage Markandeya, he had a very big life. How big? The whole this cycle of creation, one whole cycle of creation, sustenance and dissolution, that whole cycle was his life, could be some like many billions of years. That was the life. So, but he thought, for such a short time, why should I have a house? I don't need a house because I have to live only for a short time, just a few billion years. Why should I care to have a house? I can just roam about. So he didn't have a house, because this is just a short time for him. It is so, because the whole time is just short. So comes and goes, here today, gone tomorrow. And today and tomorrow, they vary, how long and short they are. So, therefore, this person does not care for anything that is transitory, whether you call it heaven or whether you call it hell. Very interesting idea, that in comparison to the permanent and real, they are identical in Vedanta. If something is impermanent, that gets called as unreal. And if something is permanent, that is real. That is the test of how to see something is real or unreal. If it is impermanent, unreal. And then if it is permanent, then real. So, it is in comparison to permanent. All these relatively long-lived or short-lived, they are all unreal. What does it matter? As we were discussing, that the mirage water, whether one glass full or a big barrel full, it doesn't make a difference. It is mirage, it is no water at all, only appears as water. So all these worldly achievements are of that type. So he did not care for any of these things, just was completely in God. That alone is real. Wherever God puts me, that is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's that 8 verses of training, Shikshashtakam. So whatever condition you put me in, I am okay with that. Only keep the devotion to you intact. Whether you make me suffer in the hell or give me all the luxuries of heaven, I don't care at all. Just what is important is devotion. That is the right thing. Like many times people give donation and say, "Oh Swami, excuse me, I don't have an envelope. Can I give you just like that?" I said, "Well, very good, whether envelope or not envelope. Now what is important? That you are giving, that's it. So, now whether there is pleasure or pain doesn't matter. What is important? Devotion." So, this is how an intelligent man sees that. Would I say, what would it be, Charlie? If you don't have an envelope, I don't care for your donation. Will it not be just stupidity? It doesn't matter whether the envelope is very beautifully decorated or whatever. It is just secondary something. So it is this Chitraketu, because of devotion, therefore they see Hari alone. That alone is the important thing in life. This is the great message that we must imbibe. All Bhagavad Gita and Puranas, everywhere you find this great idea. He says there to Parvati, Shiva says this to Parvati, it is in ignorance that one evaluates pleasures and pain. Like in ignorance, you see that this mirage water is more or that mirage is more. It is meaningless. There is no less or more about the unreal things. Do we discuss that when that snake is seen on the rope? Now what does it matter whether it is a poisonous snake or a non-poisonous snake? It is not snake at all. So the truth is the truth, that God alone is real. Our life is to be filled with this truth. And then it doesn't matter at all. So, he sees that it is his all-embracing wish alone that is being worked through us, that Shiva is telling Parvati, that it is his wish. The Lord, of this all-pervading one being, and all the different Godheads, they are just performing that God's wish as it is wished. And again, that wish is not really like wish of us. We have this is a word that is familiar to us, and therefore that is used. But it should not be confused like, oh, like I have desires, go and see this Mount Everest in Nepal. I never had been, that I have the desire. Not that God's wishes are of that type. It is just the things happen in this way, and so there is no other reason that we can ascribe to, and so we use the word, the wish of God. So, in that sense it is, and these others, they become like instruments. So Chitraketu was then born as the demon Vritra, but keeping his devotion intact. That is the story that had been read earlier. It is now the next chapter in this particular volume, and which is actually the last chapter. There is other Purana has a particular way of description, that it is like a story. So the other threads of the story, now they have to be also tied together before this story concludes. So now they are going to be tied in the next this thing class. We shall take it up only after the new year. Coming Friday, we are going to have no class, a holiday. So 29th we will have no class, and then on Sunday, as you know, there is a special Christmas Eve program. It will be, normally our Sunday programs are from 5 to 6 or 6:15 or a little bit, then Arati and all that. It will be 5 to 7 or a little more or less, yeah. So it is a very serene program, so all are invited to join. Let us do the concluding chant, and then if you have any question, please feel free to ask. So recite this verse loudly. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam shukamukhadamritadrava pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? There is no question here. Any question up there? No question. So, oh, why not? Is that the question? Can I ask a question? Okay.
So, we should ask only for devotion, right? Not whatever state we go through and all that. So, where is asking for liberation comes in this process?
Yeah, now they are, as such, philosophically speaking, identical. Liberation from ignorance automatically means devotion in the philosophical sense. But in the scriptures on bhakti, the devotees do not care about liberation. They don't want to use this word also. Whether bondage or liberation, what are you talking? Being with God, that is the important thing. Then you call it liberation or bondage, who cares? This is the language and the expression of devotees. Devotion is important. Then the liberation, or there is no bondage left then. It is therefore that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says like that. That is the life you see of many great sages. Even recently Swami Turiyananda, that liberation, mukti and all that was always presented in his letters. But he also mentions that it is the God consciousness. His life, especially at the end of his life, he was always full of this devotional expression, that as mother keeps me, that's fine. Sri Ramakrishna also had that attitude. As mother keeps me, that's it. So that devotion becomes, in the language of the devotees, liberation is the word used in the other yogas, not by bhakti yoga. Liberation, what do we don't want to think about it. So it is, the languages are different. Just to give you an analogy, that say on a peak there is a nice shrine, and then it is a peak that, so somebody would say, I am going to the peak. Somebody says that I am going to that shrine. So both are going in to the same place. So similarly, you may think of liberation like liberating from the bondage of karma, getting liberated from this cycle of rebirth. So transmigratory cycle, it is to be, one has to transcend that. So it is liberation. But being with God automatically is liberation. When you are not bound, you don't care about it at all, because God is freedom. So you already are liberated. It is not that you are not liberated, you are bound, only you don't want to use, you don't care about that aspect. Okay, then we shall conclude with the chant. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna 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 Bol. Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Keshava Madhava Hari Hari Bol. Mukunda Madhava